The ancient masters understood something that modern psychology is only beginning to discover. While we chase pills and therapy to manage our emotions, the samurai had already perfected emotional mastery over 800 years ago. What if I told you that hidden within the tea ceremony, calligraphy, and poetry lay the most sophisticated emotional training system ever created? A system so powerful that it could transform a warrior's rage into precision, fear into courage, and chaos into perfect clarity. The samurai way is unlike anything taught in the modern world. In 1274, as Mongol ships darkened Japan's horizon, a young samurai faced his first real battle. His hands trembled and fear threatened to consume him. But instead of fighting these emotions like we're taught today, he did something remarkable. He embraced them, he transformed them, and fear became his greatest weapon. You're fighting something similar. The constant emotional warfare of modern life. Every notification, every deadline, every social interaction that triggers anxiety. Most people today are emotionally illiterate. They're slaves to their feelings, bouncing between anger and depression without any real mastery. But the ancient masters knew better. What the scrolls never reveal is that samurai emotional mastery wasn't built in the dojo. It was forged in the tea ceremony, calligraphy, and poetry. These were emotional laboratories where warriors learned to transmute raw emotion into refined power. The tea ceremony, cha no kokoro, was their first method. Every movement was deliberate. The folding of silk cloth required complete presence. One fold for acknowledging the emotion. 2 folds for accepting it. 3 folds for transforming it. The slow preparation of tea channeled emotional storms into focused, meaningful action. The second method, calligraphy, was emotional surgery. Each brush stroke required perfect balance. Too much force and the ink bleeds, representing uncontrolled emotion. Too little and it lacks power, representing suppression. But perfectly balanced, the emotion became the ink. The intent became the stroke. They would write the same character hundreds of times. Fear being rewritten as bravery, anger as determination. The third method was poetry. Samurai captured intense emotions in exactly 17 syllables. When overwhelmed, storm winds howling, yet the mountain remains still, breath becomes anchor. This wasn't art, it was emotional engineering. By forcing chaotic feelings into rigid structure, they gave emotions form, meaning, and mastery. Here's how you apply these ancient methods today. I call it the 3-path system. Path 1. The ritual path. Create a daily emotional reset ritual, make coffee mindfully, fold laundry with complete attention, wash dishes with full presence. When emotions are intense, channel that energy into deliberate, focused action. Path 2. The creation path. When emotional storms hit, create something physical. Write by hand, draw, arrange objects. The physical creation transforms emotional energy into something tangible and useful. Path 3. The precision path. Capture your emotional state in 1 sentence. Reduce it to 7 words, then 3 words. This distills the emotion to its essence. Once you can name it precisely, you can master it. Let me give you a real example. Last month, news of a failed project triggered pure rage. Instead of suppressing it, I applied the tea path. I made tea with complete precision, every movement deliberate. By the time it was ready, rage had transformed into determination with clarity. I could see failure as data, not disaster. Here's your 7-day challenge. Days 1 to 2. Choose one daily activity and do it with samurai-like attention when emotions arise. Days 3 to 4. When strong emotions hit, create something physical by hand. Days 5 to 7. Practice emotional precision. Distill intense feelings into 3 words. Most people will watch this and do nothing. They'll remain emotional slaves. But you're different. The samurai way isn't easy. It requires facing emotions directly and transforming them consciously. But those who master this path become unshakable, not because they don't feel emotions, but because they've learned to dance with them. Remember that emotions aren't problems to solve, they're information to decode and energy to direct. Anger becomes fuel for change, fear becomes your compass, sadness creates compassion. The path of the warrior begins with mastering the battlefield within. Will you take the first step?